Hello, my friends. I'm Natalie, and I live in LA with my husband. I have a daughter who's 26. She recently got married, but it was a total drama. I'm just glad she could finally settle well. Victor, her husband, is a nice guy, and I'm sure he'll keep her well. I had an ex-husband who works in a corporate office. I was already working at a local pharmacy when he got that job. He was always this very nonchalant kind of guy. He was like the typical man, and I was like the typical woman. We fell in love like idiots and then got married. Our marriage became more and more mundane as days went by. He would often go to work early in the morning, come back, have small talk, then go to sleep. I don't understand why people like this want to get married in the first place. There wasn't any in between in our relationship. Everything was extreme. Either he would love to bomb me with parties and gifts, or he would give me a cold shoulder for the rest of the day. I was expecting a typical love marriage that starts fresh and wanes as you get used to it, but I didn't expect the intensity. When Robert and I tried for a baby, I was having lots of complications. It ended up in miscarriage twice. When we showed the doctor, he said that Robert had an untreated problem that his parents neglected. That turned him sterile. I was not hurt, but Robert couldn't take this information. He thought that the doctor stripped his manhood right in front of his wife. He left the clinic angrily. When I reached home, I saw he wasn't there. He came late at night. "Where the hell were you?" "I was with James and Kobe." "And why exactly? 'Cause you were mad at what the doctor said? Are you a child, Robert?" "Don't bring that shit up. I don't care what he says. We will keep trying, okay?" "Are you insane? I had gone through enough pain. I can't go through this again, please." "Then what the heck do you ask from me, woman?" "I'm requesting you to think of other possibilities. We can always IVF or adopt. There's a beautiful orphanage place around this area. I saw it while going out for a walk. We can go together." "Do you even hear yourself? You want someone else's sperm inside you? The baby might not even look like me, and speaking of orphanage, I don't want someone else's child as mine. We don't even know how they would end up. That is utter nonsense. Rather, I say, let's take a break and try again." How pathetic. "And you took a vow for me? You are hilarious. When you said you loved me, you probably lied on my face. You know what? You are sleeping on the couch tonight." I shut the conversation and went up to our room and slammed the door. I can't believe Robert had such a poor way of thinking. When we first met, he never really showed this part of him. If he did, I would have thought otherwise. I always believed that marriage was supposed to bring happiness and fulfillment, but my own experience with Robert shattered those expectations. We were then married for 3 years, and despite the odds, we shared a dark cloud always hung over our relationship. The pain of infertility had become an insurmountable barrier between us, casting a shadow on our dreams of starting a family together. Robert was still hell-bent on not adopting or getting an IVF. This gradually eroded my happiness. I yearned for the joy of motherhood, the laughter of children echoing through our home. "Are you going on another trip? Didn't you say this was your last?" "I need to clear my head, dear. Why don't you go to your mother's too for a while? Maybe a woman-woman talk might help you think rationally. Plus, you need a break from all this." And where are you going this time?" "Plan for the Maldives. A friend of my close colleague has a nice hotel and invited him and his friends to visit. So I booked a ticket. I hit the jackpot in this one. He said he would pay for everything. All I needed to do was spend on the extras that were not under the hotel's vigilance." "I see. Well, did you ever consider that your wife might need a freaking trip too?" Robert glanced at me slightly. His fork came to a halt. His eyes sharply observed the table. "Where's the salt?" The pasta isn't salted. Can you give me some? Robert? Oh, just shut up. The problem is with me, okay? I'm in much more pain than you. Why do you keep whining in my ears like a spoiled 6-year-old? Oh, how mature of you, Robert. How freaking mature. Do you even see me? What am I going through? I at least try to tend to your needs and everything else. I have given my all. What are you giving me? Robert gave me a death stare. He just took his plate and went to the couch to watch some TV. I sat there silently contemplating my future with a man who gives no shit about my feelings. My friend Lola had always been my constant support in times of such circumstances. She came to visit me when Robert was out for work. I'm so happy you took a day off today. This was a definite must. Yeah, I guess. So, how's everything with Robert? I sighed. I didn't know what else to say. I felt like I always dragged her into my mess. Natalie, you've seemed distant lately. Is everything okay between you and Robert? It's been hard, Lola. Ever since Robert found out he's sterile, he's become emotionally distant. It's like he's lost his sense of self and shut me out. Lola places a comforting hand on my shoulder. I can only imagine how difficult this must have been for both of you. Infertility can take a toll on even the strongest of relationships. Have you talked to him about how you feel? I've tried, but he shuts down whenever I bring it up. He's built this wall around himself, and I don't know how to break through it. Lola's eyes convey empathy as she offers her perspective. Natalie, it's important to remember that Robert is going through his grief and feelings of inadequacy. Perhaps he needs some time to process his emotions. But that doesn't mean you have to face this alone. I just miss the connection we used to have. We were always there for each other, and now it feels like he's slipping away. You're right to feel that way, Natalie, but sometimes people need a reminder of the love and support they have. Have you considered seeking couples therapy? A safe space to express your concerns might help bridge the gap between you both. I never thought about that. Maybe therapy could provide the space we need to heal together. Thank you, Lola. I needed this perspective. When I confronted Robert about this discussion, he got more agitated and angrier at me. He hated the fact that I shared our problems with Lola. So, now I'm becoming one of your gossips, right, hon? Baby, you're getting me wrong. I just wanted to vent out, that's all. And you know Lola is a nice girl. She would never make a big deal about it. Well, talking about my vulnerabilities to other people was not funny, Natalie. You know how I feel about that, don't you? And still, you made it a thing in front of your best friend. Okay, Robert, I apologize, but can you please not yell at me like that? I was really worried about you, and I just wanted to help. I love you. If you did, you wouldn't have done this. He didn't have dinner that day. He just went off to sleep. A few days later, he was getting ready for his trip when he called me in and told me that his mom was unwell and that I needed to take care of her. We had 2 bedrooms. He wanted to share the guest one with his mom. I was not upset about it. I just told him that it would be difficult for me to do everything since I had a job too. Well, keep a nanny then. That would be an extra cost, you know that. Then who will take care of my mother? Just don't worry about the money, Natalie. I will provide it too. But that never really happened. Robert was to be shifted to a new office in New York. He said he would call me and visit me now and then, but I could feel like our marriage was getting over. I wanted to spend a proper date with him that night. I took him out for dinner and had great food. We had fun, as one would normally do, but we also felt strained. After a few days, he left me. His mother started living with me. She was really old, but had one heck of an attitude. She was giving the nanny a hard time. Sometimes she would not eat. Sometimes when she did eat, she pretended to be sick. There were so many false scares that I had to take care of. I was getting tired of this. I wanted a break, like a real one. So I decided to go clubbing. That's where I met Lewis. I never thought I would find myself caught in the web of an extramarital affair, but life has a way of surprising us with its twists and turns. It was a breezy evening when I first met Lewis. We were both attending the same club, and from the moment our eyes met, an inexplicable connection sparked between us. He possessed a magnetism that drew me in, and as the night progressed, our conversations became deeper and more intimate. I found solace in Lewis's presence, a refuge from the mundane routine of my married life with Robert. Our conversations were filled with shared dreams, hopes, and a level of understanding I had never experienced before. Lewis made me feel seen, desired, and alive in a way that had long been absent from my marriage. Why are you still with him? You are stunning, Natalie, and you deserve someone who knows how to adore that personality. Your husband sounds like a total douchebag. No offense. I don't know. Maybe it's because I love him a lot, or maybe I think I still love him. I mean, understand that he is going through a lot, but he should know he's not going through this alone. I'm here, and I have never for once forced him into anything. He doesn't like the sound of IVF or adoption, but I don't get it. What's so wrong with seeking a different alternative? Damn, his personality screams insecure. Well, some guys just don't like considering their partners as equals. You tell me, when was the last time he made any effort for you? Like you told me he goes on frequent trips, right? Did he ever invite you to any one of them? Well, see, that says a lot, Natalie. I'm not here to encourage you to leave him. I am here to tell you that maybe it's time you stop fighting for something that is not worth it. If I were in your place, I would ditch him then and there. It's not as simple as you think, Lewis. His mother is involved now. I have to take care of her. Oh, I hate this. Why me? Hey, you were in a club, right? Just have fun as long as you're here. Don't worry about it. I want us to have a good time, and guess what? I have the perfect idea. I have my car. Let's go for a midnight drive. Like, really? Are you sure? Yeah, your nanny's taking care of your mom, so you don't have a curfew. You can come along with me, and we will have some disgusting fast food, lie under the stars, and talk. Sounds good? Cute. I don't mind at all. As time went on, our encounters became more frequent, our stolen moments filled with giggles and whispered confessions. The affair became a dangerous dance, a delicate balance between the guilt that gnawed at my conscience and the intoxicating allure of forbidden love. The clandestine nature of our relationship only added to its allure. We met in secret locations, hidden away from prying eyes, and each encounter left me craving more. The guilt weighed heavily on me, yet I was unable to resist the magnetic pull that drew me closer to Lewis. But as the days turned into weeks, the realization of the consequences began to sink in, especially when Robert video called me. The guilt I carried like a heavy burden started to seep into every aspect of my life. I saw the pain in Robert's eyes, the growing distance between us, and the erosion of the trust we had once held so dear. I wanted to confront him about it, and I want to put an end to this. I was ready to tell him that I want us to remain friends, nothing more. But the moment I entered his apartment, I was in awe. He looked like such a gentleman, smelling of light fragrance, hair pushed back. I swooned to his charm. He welcomed me with a warm smile. We were talking and having a few drinks along with it. I don't know how or when, but I ended up kissing him, and that was it. I ended up in a disaster. I completely cut off Lewis after that night. He called me multiple times, but I didn't have the nerve to face him. One day when I was leaving for work, Lewis was waiting right outside my house. He stood in front of me, blocking my way. "Please, Natalie." I'm sorry. I got carried away, and I know what a big mistake I made. I swear it was not my intention. I thought we were having a nice night. It was not your fault. I was the one who kissed you. I am the one with no self-control. Hey, look, I didn't mind, okay? I understand all that you're going through. You know nothing about me. Don't even try. Nat, I had the most amazing night with you. I am not able to forget it. Be with me. I can keep you happier. Maybe I don't earn like Robert, but I can certainly keep you content. That man doesn't deserve you. I'm still married, Louis. Please don't ask for something I can't give you. And please don't meddle with my matters. Let's forget this ever happened. I broke his heart that day. I pushed away the man who could have probably saved me. But well, I knew that was not the time. 2 weeks later, I took a pregnancy test and found out I was pregnant. I was happy and shattered at the same time. I knew for a fact this was Louis's child. If Robert ever found out, he would. I shuddered at the thought. I told myself I would keep it a secret. When Robert came, he was shocked beyond imagination. He kissed me and hugged me and spun me around. He kept saying it was a miracle. He had a massive gender reveal party. I didn't know what else to feel. Louis tried to talk to me a lot through calls, but I kept avoiding him. You did what, girl? Please tell me you're joking. When did this happen? It's a long story, Lola, and I'm sorry, I don't know what else to do. Robert has no clue about this? Not even the nanny? No, just you. I don't have the nerve to say anything to anyone. What about Louis? Should I tell him? I can if you want me to. Would that be a good idea? Depends on if you like him, but I would advise you just go on with whatever is happening. Don't overthink. There is always a right time for everything. For now, keep it a secret. Years go by. Our daughter grows up unaware of everything. She has always known Robert to be her father. Robert doesn't change much. He was just getting older. His personality was still the same. He would only talk to Josie and sometimes make fun of me in front of her. Every time I told him why he does that, he kept saying it was harmless. He created an invisible wall between us. The weight of my secret had been growing heavier with each passing day, suffocating me under its immense burden. It was a secret that had eaten away at my conscience as I watched Robert interacting with Josie. I had hoped against hope that my indiscretion would remain hidden forever, sparing us all from the unimaginable pain that would follow. As further years went by, the facade I had carefully constructed was crumbling before my eyes, and I knew that the time for secrets had come to an end. We were planning on Josie's marriage. How time flies. They were sitting in the living room. I entered and told Josie to excuse us. Maybe because I was shaking a lot. Josie left immediately. What is it, hon? Something wrong? Well, if you have nothing to say, there are a few things I need to discuss. First of all, my salary has been cut to... Voice fades in Natalie's head. Jesus, did you even hear what I said? My money has been cut down. We need to save up. How much do you have in your bank? Also, my mother's allowances. Can you please shut up? I have something to tell you. With a heavy heart and trembling hands, I confessed the truth to Robert, laying bare the web of lies that had ensnared us both. The anguish in his eyes mirrored the pain that now consumed me. The man who had never loved and supported me had been betrayed most unforgivably. I forced myself to forget Louis, but I know deep down I loved him. He wrote me an email every year asking how I was doing. All I could say to him was, forget me. I feel like this was unfair to Louis. You did what? You heard it. I don't want to repeat it. You are telling me that Josie isn't my daughter? No, she isn't. Then whose daughter is she? Which brat did you sleep with, huh? Tell me. And that is none of your business. Robert stood up, violently shaking the objects on the table. Josie heard the sound and came running. She was startled at the sudden shift of tension. What on earth? Why are you two fighting? Why don't you ask your filthy mother, who is your real father? Come on, Natalie, tell your beloved daughter who you slept with years ago. Josie, please. I will explain everything later. No, you will explain everything sentence by sentence, and I want her to witness what a filthy mother you are. Dad, please, stop saying things to her like that. I want things to be settled, at peace. I'm getting extremely confused and stressed right now. First, tell me, why did you do this? Why did you cheat on me? You were a shitty husband to me. All those years, you were nothing but a self-righteous, arrogant, unsupportive, egoistic, and unsympathetic man. All you did was protect your pride. But look where that ended up. You know what? I don't regret a single thing I did. He was twice the man you could ever be. Robert was so enraged. He wanted to lunge at me. But the nanny and Josie both defended me. Ultimately, he left the house with a burst of anger. The next day, he sent an email writing that he won't fund anything for Josie's wedding, and he wouldn't want to be present. I was feeling extremely bad for Josie, but I knew that I have the willpower to make this a success. I couldn't hold it anymore. I contacted Louis. I told him everything. I made some simple arrangements. I knew how to give this man a lesson. After a week, I called Robert. Why the hell are you calling me? I've already told you I am not. Oh no, I just called you to say that I dismissed the nanny. Your mother is probably alone right now, and I have left with my stuff. So the house is freaking yours. Do whatever you want. I just don't give a damn. Wait, what do you mean you left? And what about Mom's allowance? Not my headache anymore. She is a pathetic person anyway. Gave an extremely hard time to the nanny. Plus, all the bills and stuff will be paid by you from now onwards. I am not doing shit. All these years you freaking escaped your marriage and responsibilities. Now, let it come and bite you back. Wait a second, Natalie, honey, please. You know my expenses have gone down? I know. Just like I said, it is none of my business. Goodbye, Robert. I cut the call on his face. The tragic tale ends here. Louis and I met at a pub again, and it was so happy to see him. He was still the same, bubbly, cheery, and romantic. We both planned on Josie's wedding, and it was done at a fantastic location. Though the venue was small and compact, it was still warm and filled with people we genuinely loved. We had a joyous celebration with food, music, dance, and a lot of jumping around. Robert kept calling me. This time, when I cut the call, I felt no guilt whatsoever. I was with my daughter and the man that I love. The most beautiful part was I could reunite Josie with her true father, who walked down the aisle with her. I mean, I know I have a lot of explaining to do, but all that can wait for another time.